Good afternoon, everyone. I'm architect Nishitha Joshi. I welcome all of you in another live session at THiNC Institute of Design. Today is a marathon for all of you where we will be having back-to-back three different sessions related to different topics. And the first session for the day will be on architecture awareness. As you already know, I take architecture awareness classes at THiNC Institute of Design, and in all the live sessions, we discuss about various topics which are very important parts of NATA's preparation and NATA's syllabus. So today also I've brought an interesting topic to discuss with all of you. Of course, we'll discuss this topic briefly, where I will introduce it to you and I will also show you some questions that have come on the basis of preparation of this particular topic in the last few years. So without wasting any more time, let me just tell you what the topic for the day is. So today we will be discussing architecture styles. This is an extremely important topic for preparation of NATA if you talk about the architecture awareness part. And previously, many questions have come from this topic, and even in 2025, we have observed that some questions are getting repeated from this particular topic. So first of all, what do you mean by this term architecture styles? What is the meaning of the word style here? So as you know that architecture has evolved over the years, over the centuries, architecture has evolved. And with changing time and evolution in technology, a lot of advancement in science, um, different styles have come up throughout the ages in the field of architecture. You know that we were early men, we were nomadic people, and we used to live in caves. So this entire journey of transition from the advent of architecture or basic design to here, where we are building high-tech buildings and skyscrapers, we are creating all of these mega structures. How did this transition happen? So it is a very wonderful and interesting story of evolution, and throughout the story, we witness many different styles of architecture, meaning many different ways in which buildings are created or having different features, having different characteristics. So from time to time, different architecture styles have existed in different parts of the world. Some of these styles were just used in a particular part of the world, and some became so famous and widely loved that they spread throughout the world, maybe from time to time. For example, modernism is one such style. This was a style that we saw in art and architecture in the late 18th century to mid 19th century, mid 20th century. And this was a style that was greatly affected by industrial revolution. We got a lot of new building materials after industrial revolution, and architects started creating these wonderful structures using these new materials in a new architecture style called modernism. Seagram building designed by Mies van der Rohe is actually a very good example of this style. And a lot of your favorite architects like F.L. Wright, Le Corbusier, they all used to create their buildings in this very modern style of architecture. So let's understand how these various architecture styles evolved, and let's go for further discussion. So as you know, there were ancient civilizations in the old world. There were civilizations like Mesopotamia, there was the Indus Valley civilization, Egyptian civilization, and so many others. Once all of these civilizations declined, there was a beginning of a new world, and in this new world, some new kingdoms, some new regions evolved and developed. One of the earliest periods where great architecture was created, and it is inspirational for all of us even till date. And many features from this particular style are still used in our architecture. Is ancient Greece or the Greek architecture. So ancient Greece, as you can see in this chart, lasted between 1100 to 146 BCE, and there were very great structures like the Parthenon constructed during this era. We all know about various orders, the three Greek orders that were there: Doric order, Ionic order, and Corinthian order, and all the different kinds of religious, secular, and public structures that were created in this era. This was also a time when theaters and amphitheaters emerged. Next was the Roman Empire, which took the Greek architecture and Greek proportions to another level and added new technology, new kind of ornamentation, beauty, and next definition to the proportional work of Greek period. One of the most famous buildings that was created in Roman architecture style was Pantheon. Pantheon was actually a temple dedicated to all gods, and it had a rotunda, a circular hall, which had a freestanding dome on its top. It was a step dome, and it is considered as one of the earliest examples of a freestanding dome in the world. So this was the time when arcuate style of load transfer became very popular. Arcuate is a load transfer mechanism where load is transferred through arches and domes. Another famous building that emerged in the Roman Empire was Colosseum. So Colosseum is considered as a great inspiration for all the modern day stadiums where sports like cricket and football are conducted nowadays. So Colosseum was actually an amphitheater that was constructed in the Greek era, in the Roman era. And after that, there was the medieval period or the Middle Ages, where different architecture styles like Byzantine architecture, Gothic architecture, Baroque architecture, all of these flourished. Then after this, there was Renaissance period where Renaissance architecture style emerged and evolved. This was also the period where church architecture advanced and it grew multifold. Then there were many other styles like Baroque, Rococo, and others. There was also before Renaissance, there was also a period called Romanesque architecture. That is also an important style of architecture belonging to the Middle Ages. Then after this, there was Romanticism. There were many other styles like Art Nouveau and Art Deco. And finally, after Industrial Revolution, modernism came. So modern style of architecture is a very popular style in architecture because of which we got a lot of new age and modern high-rise buildings like the Seagram building. And after this, there was postmodernism. There are many sub-styles in modernism and postmodernism as well. Like brutalism is a very famous sub-style that was used by Le Corbusier in his works, and also Indian architect B.Des used brutalism in his buildings. Hussain Doshi Gufa is a very good example of a brutalist structure belonging to modern style of architecture. Similarly, there were many sub-styles in postmodernism as well. For example, deconstructivism. There was a very famous architect called Peter Eisenman who created deconstructivist buildings in America. And another one was Frank Gehry, who has constructed the Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao, Spain, in the deconstructivist style of architecture that is parallel to postmodernism era. And the style that we follow in building design today is known as contemporary style of architecture because we call this age as the contemporary age, ever changing, evolving, and developing with time. So what does this term architecture style mean? Architecture style of a building is actually characterized by a few features. You notice some features in a building, notable structures or historic monuments. You notice some patterns, some features, some characteristics, and then try to identify which particular style does it belong to. So how is this style defined? There are various elements such as form, the form of the building, the 3D form, the basic shape from which it has devolved, or the kind of elements that are used in that, whether it has curved lines, whether it is a circular structure, a cylindrical structure. All of these things also vary in a lot of styles. Then next is method of construction. So this will also tell about the development in that era and the growth because of which this evolution might have happened. So method of construction is an important point. Then the building materials used. As you know that from time to time, the building materials have also changed and evolved and grown. So with different changing architecture styles, the building material in use will also differ. And lastly, regional character. Where is this building constructed? There will be a lot of regional influence in a building, whether it is constructed in Italy, or whether it is in France, or is it in UK, is it in Spain, is it in India? And even if in India, in which part of India? Is it a building in Tamil Nadu, in Jammu and Kashmir, in West Bengal, in Gujarat, in Chhattisgarh? So that regional character will always be there. That will add very strong influences to the architecture style of any particular building. So these are some of the factors that can define architecture style of a building. Now, here is a list of some common architecture styles. Apart from this as well, there are so many other architecture styles, but here I've just put some famous ones. If you want, you can also take a screenshot of this. And if you know about any of these styles, if you have heard about any of them before, or if you can define any of them, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Please leave your queries in the comments as well regarding any of these styles, and I would love to help you regarding it. So in this list, there are so many common and very popular names, in fact, like Art Deco that you can see in the first column. Below Art Deco, it is Art Nouveau. These two were two of the most um, famous architecture styles that spread across Europe and even came to India along with Britishers. You can see a lot of work of Art Deco buildings in cities like Kolkata, Mumbai, and one or two examples in almost every other old city of India that came along with Britishers. Then next famous style is Baroque style of architecture. Bauhaus movement in Germany gave rise to a new architecture style known as the Bauhaus style. Then there's classicism. There is a separate phase of architecture known as classical period of architecture in Western history, that is Greek and Roman period. This was also a question in one of the previous years in NATA, that which period of architecture is known as the classical period. So it will be Greek and Roman architecture. Then Cubism is another famous architecture or art style. A lot of these styles are common for both art and architecture because throughout history, art and architecture have grown hand in hand. Then in the third column, you can see Futurism, very famous one. There's Renaissance. Then below, you can see Impressionism, Minimalism, Neoclassicism. Then there's Neon art, pop art. Pop art is very popular. There was also a question asked about pop art in JEE paper 2 in 2022. Then there is post-impressionism and impressionism. Rococo architecture style is there. Then there is street art, surrealism, symbolism. So these are some common names. Please go through all of these terms, try to learn their definitions. And if you have any doubts, you can always ask us in the comments. Of course, I won't be able to explain each and every term in detail at the moment because this is a limited time live session. So, but let's ponder on to some of the important ones or some of the more famous ones. The first one is modernism. Modernism is a philosophical movement that, along with cultural trends and changes, arose from wide-scale and far-reaching transformations in Western society in the late of 19th and early 20th century. The term is often applied to a modernist movement at the turn of the 20th century. So you can see how building facades and building designs changed in the modern era. And from early 19th century to the early to mid 20th century, all of these modern buildings were created. They were built using materials like concrete, cement concrete, steel, a lot of other metallic alloys, glass, etc. Frank Lloyd Wright's work are some of the great examples of modern style of architecture in America. The famous composition of F.L. Wright, Falling Water, is also a brutalist modern building. Then all the structures that Le Corbusier has designed in the Capitol Complex, Chandigarh, they are good examples of modern architecture. Louis I. Kahn's I Am Ahmedabad is an example of modern architecture, and a lot of B.V. Joshi's work are also falling under the same category. There will be some variation in all of these buildings. One major reason is the geography in which each of them are constructed in. Then, of course, every architect also has some personal touch to his designs. So some features might differ from architect to architect. That is also one thing. And regional variation or cultural variation is also one of the reasons why some elements might be different, but largely there will be a lot of commonalities between all of these works because they all belong to the same style. Some influential architects of modern style of architecture. Notable architects important to the history and development of modernist movement, especially in foreign countries. First and foremost, Ludwig Mies van der Rohe, who created the first modern skyscraper in a modern skyscraper in US, the Seagram building. Then Le Corbusier is one. Le Corbusier is another one who has created a lot of buildings like Villa Savoy and Notre Dame du Haut in France and Chandigarh City and Capitol Complex in India. Then Walter Gropius is there, the man behind the starting of Bauhaus School and Bauhaus movement. Then there's Eric Mendelsohn, like I told you, Frank Lloyd Wright, Louis Sullivan, Henry Louis Sullivan, and Bruno Todt, Arne Jacobson. Oscar Niemeyer is another famous name. Alvar Aalto gave us the pioneer tuberculosis sanatorium. Is also a very famous modernist architect. Some sub-styles under modernism: Chicago school style, expressionism, functionalism, brutalism, high-tech modernism, metabolism, etc. So as I told you, in a lot of these major styles, there are many sub-styles or subcategories as well. Some of these were just related to a particular architect who created structures in that particular sub-style. Now, after modernism, many other styles evolved, like regionalism, which depended on particular regions or particular areas of the world or particular countries. Then postmodernism was there, which started in the mid of 20th century, almost around 1930s to 40s. Postmodernism started taking roots, and by 1950s it became popular. By 1970s, postmodernism was spread around the globe, and postmodernism was actually a step further to modernism, as you can understand from the features and characteristics of the buildings created in this style. Then there was deconstructivism. I gave you some examples like the Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao. There's eco-architects, later styles after modernism, especially belonging to the postmodern era. Aldo Rossi, Frank Gehry, Terry Farrell, Michael Graves, Philip Johnson, and some others. So difference between how you can identify which structure is modern building or which is a postmodern building. So in modernism, building structures were comparatively very simple in form because they were experimenting with new materials. They were not experimenting a lot with form. They were trying to get used to materials like steel and aluminum and tin and various other metallic alloys in glass, concrete, all of this. So building form will be very basic, very simple building forms were created in modern architecture, whereas the building forms in postmodern architecture were more advanced. Then modernism had mostly flat roofs, whereas postmodernism had experimentation and roof design. Gable roof being one of the common ones in cold regions, cold parts of the world. Then in most of the modern buildings, a lot of color was not used. Most of the buildings are exposed concrete buildings. That is why they have an off-white or gray color in them. On the left, you can see the famous Notre Dame du Hort designed by Le Corbusier in Ronchamp in France. This is actually a chapel. And on the right side, you can see a postmodern building with a lot of color and ornamentation, which is lacking in modern building. So as you know that we are discussing all of these styles very briefly because of the paucity of time, but if you want to learn about architecture history and architecture styles from different parts of the world, you want to discuss this in detail, then I think this NATA crash batch would be a great opportunity for you. This will be a hybrid crash batch starting in a few days, and you can join either online or offline as per your availability. The number is on your screen. You can contact my team for joining this crash batch, and we'll discuss these topics in great detail in our at-length sessions. So now let's look at some questions that have come in the previous years on the basis of this particular topic. So first question, which architecture style was known for its beauty and fine proportions? I'm also giving you a few seconds to answer this in the comments. Try to answer this in the comments if you know the answer. Your four options are Greek, Indian, Chinese, and Japanese. Which architecture style was known for its beauty and fine proportions? I've also mentioned it a few minutes ago, so I think you should be able to answer it. The right answer is Greek style of architecture. Greek style is famous for its fine proportions, fine beauty and fine proportions. Okay, I can see that there are some questions in the comments as well. I'll address them once we discuss these practice questions. So let's look at this other question. The chair named the Pantone chair, which was designed by Werner Panton, was made with a new material in the year 1967. what was this material? So this is a question related to architecture style as well as furniture design as well. Your options are glass, nylon, plastic, and stainless steel. Just look at this picture and tell me which was this material. Which material are we talking about? I can see a few answers in the comments. Yes, you are right. Plastic is the right answer. Saurabh has given the right answer in the comments. It is not nylon, but it's plastic. So this Pantone chair was made with plastic, which was a new material at that time in furniture designing, and it changed furniture designing forever because this became such a big hit that earlier only 30 to 50 pieces of this chair were made because it was an experiment and the designer did not know whether it will be successful or not. But later on, since it became a huge success, plastic became a common material for making various kind of furnitures that are used in buildings like chair, even tables, tea tables, and a lot of other stools, and a lot of other furniture ware. Next question. Which of the following is not an example of day style? Now, this is a tough question. That is why I've also mentioned the answer here. So here they have mentioned the name of a style. It's called day style. It is not in English, as you can understand from the name. It is in some other language. But if you can understand it, the answer is actually quite easy. When you look at the options, if such a question comes to you in exam, look at the four images that they have provided. Even if you might not know the meaning of this style or what were its characteristics, but when you look at the images, A, C, and D look a bit similar to each other because of the shapes and forms that are used in these three objects. Apart from that, the color combination that is common in all of these. So you can see that they have used primary colors in these three objects, A, C, and D. And apart from primary colors, they've used black. So B is the only one that is standing out clearly because of the different kind of form and different color scheme and all. So hence, I can easily deduce that B is the right answer here. B is not an example of day style, but let's try to understand what day style actually is. It is also an art movement. It was a movement that affected art and architecture. Day style is actually Dutch for the style, also known as neoplasticism. So neoplasticism is the common English name for this particular style. It was a Dutch art movement, and believe me, all the art movements directly affected architecture in those times. Whatever was happening in the world, it was being reflected in art and architecture. So this was a Dutch art movement founded in 1917, and their style consisted of artists and architects. In a more narrow sense, the term day style is used to refer to a body of work from 1917 to 1931, founded in the Netherlands. Proponents of this style advocated pure abstraction and universality by a reduction to the essentials of form and color. They simplified visual compositions to vertical and horizontal using only black, white, and primary colors, like what we also observed in the previous question in those three images. Let's look at this next question. Which of the following is not an example of pop art? So when I was showing you that chart with a lot of names of different architecture styles, there I also mentioned pop art as one of the words. So this question is related to pop art, and here there are three images which are examples of pop art, and one is not related to pop art at all. So you have to tell me which one is the odd one out here, which is not an example of pop art. A, B, C, or D. So as you can see, there are similar or common features in A, C, and D. Now, how can I say that these are common features? Because A and D look quite similar in their format. In A and D, both there are multiple images of the same object. And in C, we see that similar kind of facial characteristics of the characters as in D. So we can draw some similarities between A, C, and D. But there is no similarity in B with any of the other three. So we can deduce by that way that B might be the odd one out. let's understand what is the meaning of pop art. Pop art is actually short for popular art, and it was an art movement that emerged in the United Kingdom and United States during the mid to late 1950s. The movement presented a challenge to traditions of fine art by including imagery from popular and mass culture, such as advertising, comic books, and mundane mass-produced objects. So, as you can understand from here, this was an art movement that affected branding for products largely, and things or people or any products that were popular in that time, they were made in a certain way to represent certain characteristics of people, to make it more interesting or appealing or catchy to the eyes of the people through the help of this kind of art or this style. So these were some questions that I wanted to show to you. Now, let's come back to the queries. A student is asking that they have their paper tomorrow. So they want some maybe important topics from what I'm trying to understand. So this year in 2025 NATA exam, I have observed that many questions are coming from the topic building famous buildings and building materials. These two topics are two of the most asked topics in NATA this year. You can understand it from this that at least 50% of the questions they have come from two or three topics. First and foremost, famous buildings. Secondly, building material. And third, famous architects. There are other topics like climatology, parts of building, and like maybe topics like awards in architecture, books and documentaries, etc. These are also important, but there might be one or two questions from these, but the maximum questions are coming from famous buildings. Now, these questions can be about any character of the famous building. It can ask about what is the material used in this famous building, who constructed or who designed this famous building. This question can be about any famous emperor, or it can be about any architect as well who has designed the famous building. Then very common questions that are coming are, where is this particular building located? And they might be asking about the city that this building is in or the state that this building is located in. So these type of questions are very common in NATA. So since you just have one day to prepare, I would suggest you to study about the famous buildings. You can get a list of famous buildings on the internet as well that were designed by great architects, or you can also get the names of many famous monuments across India. So you can study about different architecture styles of these buildings. You can study about the architects who have created them. Try to find out the material used in famous buildings and their locations. So study about this in the remaining time that you have before tomorrow's exam. And I think this will be very helpful for your tomorrow's exam. So that is it from my side. This was a brief introduction to the topic architecture styles. I hope that you understood how important topic this is for your preparation and what kind of questions can be asked in the exam this year. These are the details of upcoming crash batch. If you want to learn about these topics and much more in great detail, this would be a good opportunity for you all. If you have any other doubts or any questions related to this topic, you can drop it in the comments and I'll try to help you out regarding that. So now another faculty is online who will be taking your next session. Chandu sir is here. So I'll be handing over to him now for the next session. So,
thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Good evening, all. Okay, good evening, all. So we will be discussing some non-verbal topics first. Okay, I think my screen is visible to all. So we'll start with the DICE. Okay. So DICE is a very important topic, and from my students, I came to know that few questions has been asked from this area in the previous sessions. Okay, so it's a very simple topic, but there is some sort of issues due to the imagination issues. Okay, maybe like you guys may be thinking on a certain question, like a lot of things they have to imagine. That's why it feels a little bit tough. Sometimes you find that your imagination or that answer maybe there is a chance of going it wrong also. So to avoid all those things, we will be using some techniques. That is what we are going to discuss. So not purely on imagination, we are going to discuss the techniques which will take us purely to the answer. So first of all, we can look into a dice. Okay, so this is a cube. So dices are cubes, which is having 6 surfaces. Okay, so they are having 6 surfaces. So over here, I'm taking one as a reference. I'm taking one as the reference, and that is A, B, C, G. Okay, I'm taking A, B, C, G as the reference. Okay, A, B, C, G. So what are the adjacent sides over here? What are the adjacent sides? Adjacent sides means sides which are having direct connection. Okay, sides which are having direct connections like C, G, E, D, A, G, E, F, A, F, H, B, and B, H, C, D. B, H, C, D. So these are the adjacent sides. Okay. So if in a question, I'm taking ABCG as a reference and I'm commenting that AGEF is the opposite of ABCG. Will you give it like a correct answer or not? I'm making a statement that ABCG is opposite of AGEF. Is it right or not? Just put it in the chat. Saurav, Ashir, Abshir, all. Just put it in the chat. I'm giving a comment like ABCG and AGEF are opposite. Is it right? Yes or no? It's obviously a no. Why? It's obviously a no. Why? Because this is adjacent side, not opposite. We already know. Sure, good. Okay, we already know. It's like Abshir commented the reason also. It's adjacent. Okay, so it cannot be opposite. That means adjacent sides cannot be opposite. Okay, so that is the logic. And that is the most important logic in this particular chapter. Okay, you can easily solve the questions using this logic. Okay, that's a very important one. So who is the opposite one actually? Who is the opposite one? So over here, we have E, D, H, F. Okay, so that is the opposite one, E, D, H, F. So now we can use this inference to solve one question. Two opposite faces cannot be adjacent to one another. Two opposite faces. The same rule you can use. I'm sure. Okay, good. The same rule you can use to solve questions in folding, unfolding also. I will tell you how it is. So now coming over here, this is the position 1 and position 2 of the same dice. Okay, position 1 and position 2 of the same dice. I want to know the opposite of 4. That is my question. You guys can put the number which is opposed to 4 in the chat. Okay, so if you want, you can take the options like 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Okay, you are free to have 5 options also. So, Sauro, others. So now we can use the technique I just mentioned. Two opposite faces cannot be adjacent to one another. That is what we are going to use it over here also. See, this is the reference side 4. 6 is adjacent, so definitely it cannot be opposite. 2 is adjacent, it definitely cannot be opposite. 5 is adjacent, it definitely cannot be opposite. 3 is adjacent, it definitely cannot opposite. Okay, so that makes 1 as the opposite one. Okay, 1 as the opposite one. Okay, similarly, we can do one more thing. So over here, what is the opposite side? What is the opposite side of 6 here? What is the opposite side of 6? You guys can put your response in the chat. What is the opposite side of 6? Quick. Opposite side of 6. See, we can easily solve that. Saurav, very good. 1. Okay. 1 is the opposite side because, absolutely good. Okay, you can find 1 is a common face here. So another technique which is similar to the previous one. If I ask what is the opposite of 1, then you will easily you will tell that it is 6. Okay, so that we can look into that technique. Opposite side. Opposite side of the common face. Opposite side of the common face, that is, if there is only one pair of common faces. Okay, opposite side of the common face, the condition is if there is only one pair of common face, then it is a number. Then it is a number which is not visible. Okay, so then it is a number which is not visible on the two positions of the dice. Okay, so this is a position 1 and position 2. These are the two positions. So that is a number which is not visible on the two positions. So if a question comes, a number which is not visible on the two positions, then it will be the opposite of the common face. That is the logic. See, actually, we are learning these shortcuts to eliminate the time of imagination. Okay, so that you can save a lot of time imagining from this particular technique. Okay, now we can look into the next one. Next technique. So over here, if a question comes, what is the opposite of 2? Just put your response in the chat. Quick. I want all of you to put your responses. Opposite of 2. Saurav. Abshir, it's your turn. Opposite of 2. See, over here, I'm looking for the common faces. Okay, I'm looking for the common faces. So here the common faces, this is a position 1, this is a position 2, top, front, right, top, front, right. Okay, so here the common faces are 5, 5. They are at the top. One more pair, second pair, that is 3, 3. That is right, front. That is right, front. So the technique is very simple. If a condition, okay, I'll be writing a condition here. If this condition is satisfied, so if the condition is, if there is 2 pairs of common face, if there is 2 pairs of common face, then remaining sides are opposite. Okay, if there is 2 pairs of common face, then remaining sides are opposite. Okay, if there is 2 pairs of common face, then remaining sides are opposite. So over here, common faces I'm going to spot. Okay, 5 and 5 are common. 3 and 3 are common. So what are the remaining sides? 2 and 4. Okay, so we don't need to imagine anything. Just simply looking into the question, we are getting the answer. 2 and 4 are the opposite. So we just see the condition that if there is 2 pairs of common face, okay, so then we have the technique, okay, or the rule, you can call like rule. That is remaining sides are opposite. Okay. Similarly, earlier it's Saurav Gupta and Abshir given it right. Very good. So now, this is the position 1 and position 2. This is the position 1 and position 2 of the same dice. And now I have a question. What is the opposite of 5? You guys can put your responses in the chat. 5. Top, front. I'm waiting for a response. In between, I will write all these things. Top, front, right? Okay. So here the top, front, right. Here the common faces are 3, 3 only. Common faces. Only one pair. And that is at front, front. Okay. Saurav. So over here, Shafina, good. Shanifa, okay, Shanifa, good. Abshir, good. Okay, answers are right. Very good. So over here, we have a condition. We have a condition that is, if there is one pair of common face, if there is only one pair of common face and at same sides, same side or position, okay, whatever you can call that. That means here it is on the front. Okay, the same side is on the front. Rule is, as like the previous case, remaining sides are opposite. Remaining sides are opposite with respect to position of sides. With respect to position of sides. That means if, or over here in this question, okay, that is in this question, friend, friend is common. Then, so this is friend of position 1, this is friend of position 2. Then top of position 1 and top of position 2 will be opposite, and friend of position 1 and friend of position 2 will be opposite. Okay, so over here, top opposite, 5, 6 opposite, and right opposite. Sorry, this is right because friend is a common. So over here, 4 and 2 will be opposite. Okay. So now we already know that 3 and 1 will be opposite. That's not a matter here. Okay. So you can easily find all the sides if we get a dice like this. Okay. So that is the technique. So in certain cases, right of position 1 and right of position 2 will be common. At that time, top of position 1 and top of position 2, as well as front of position 1 and front of position 2 will be opposite. So whenever you will get, just cross the common face, look into the right and right opposite, top and top opposite. Nothing in this. Okay. Very good, Saurav, Shanifa, and Abshir. So we will be looking into the next area. So here we see that one pair of common face at same side or position. Next time it is moving to another position. Okay. So we have currently running online and offline batches. So you can contact in this particular number to join in those batches. Okay. So now we'll be looking into the next type. So over here, my question is like, what is the opposite of 4? Now you guys can solve this. What is the opposite of 4? Put it in the chat. Quick. Opposite of 4. Saurabh. Okay, fine, fine. Okay, I saw your answer. Opposite of 4. Okay. Shanifa gone for 2, Abchil gone for 6. Let's see who is right. So actually from here onwards, it is difficult to imagine. From this figure onwards, it is little bit difficult to imagine. Okay. So over here, we can look into the condition first. When the rule for this particular one will be used. Condition is one pair. This is the position 1. This is the position 2. Top, front, right. Top, front, right. So one pair of common face. Yes, it is available. Like common face is 2, 2. Common face is 2, 2. And their positions are top and front. One pair of common face and at different positions. Earlier it was on the same position. Now it is different positions. If a condition like this you face, at that time, you should use the rule. The rule is like this, clockwise rule. Name of the rule is clockwise rule, and I will tell you how to use that particular one. So how to use the clockwise rule? Just list position 1 and position 2 like this. Okay. And identify the common face. Create a clockwise circle. Circle first reaches 1. Then the circle moves to 4. Then it ended at 2. Okay, this is the clockwise circle. Next, second clockwise circle start from the common face, goes to 3, then comes to 6, then end. Okay, so that is why 4 and 6 are opposite. Okay, that is why 4 and 6 were opposite, and Abchir and Saurav have given it, right? Good, great. 4 and 6 are opposite. So this is clockwise rule. I know that this is a little bit difficult to digest. Okay, but based on the imagination technique, it is a time-consuming one. Okay, so that imagination method will be a time-consuming one. So you can easily, if you get practice in this, you can easily solve. So here comes a question for you guys. 2 positions of a dice are shown. When 4 is at the bottom, part number will be on the top. Now you guys can solve. I'm looking for your answers. Quick. Please put your responses in the chat. Question is clearly given, opposite of 4. Okay, so what is the opposite of 4? Opposite of 4, that is based on a previous technique. Common face. Okay, opposite of common face is asked. Okay, in a reverse manner. So 4 is a number which is not present on the dice. So it will be opposite to the common face. That is Saurav and Abchir given it right. Now the next question. Here is your next question. Which rule will you use and how you will use? Go ahead. On the basis of 2 positions of the dice, find that number will be on the opposite face of number 5. Opposite of 5 is asked. Okay, Saurav, others? Others? See, consider this like a mock test. Okay, so our brain will be ready for the exam if you are actively participating in all these things. Okay, because your exam also somewhat similar to this. Question will be on the monitor and you should make the answer. So now over here, on the basis of the 2 positions, position 1, position 2. Okay, find the what number will be on the opposite face of number 5. So common face, I'm looking for the common face. Top, front, right, top, front, right. Common face is 3. So it's 3, 3 and not at the same position. Then what will you use? clockwise. Okay, what will you use? Clockwise. How to use that clockwise rule? How to use? So over here, we will construct clockwise circles. P1 and P2 given. Clockwise circle, which is starting from 3, goes to 6 first. Then goes to 4. Next, it ends at 3. Then the next circle goes to 1, then to 5. So 6 and 1 are opposite. 4 and 5 are opposite. The question was about the 5. So opposite of 5 is 4. And you guys were right. Very good. Saurav and Shanifa were given it right. Very good, very good. It's the right answer. Great, great. So let's move on to the next question. I just changed the head a little bit. So here you can solve this question and I will tell you how to solve it. So you need to find the number which is coming in position of that question mark. So you'll be taking it a little bit time. I know that. So quick guys, quick. Who will be coming in place of this question mark? From the following positions of the dice. Position 1, position 2, position 3. Sorry. Okay. So 3 positions of the same dice is being provided here. Now I'm just at a time, I'm taking only these 2. That is better. Consider 2. So I'm looking for the common face. 2 and 2. Top, front, right, top, front, right. Okay. So over here, common face. That is 2, 2. One is on the front, other is on the right. Okay, common face. One is at the front and other is on the right. Okay. So over here, which rule we will use? Clockwise. Okay, we are going to use clockwise here. Okay. So the clockwise rule P1, P2. So from the 2, it goes to 4 first. Then it goes to 3. Then it ends at 2. On the second figure, it goes to 1. Then it goes to 5. Then it's ends. So it's like 4 and 1 are opposite. And 3 and 5 are opposite. So we have an inference. And you can easily find that 2 and 6. Okay. You can easily find that because only one pair is now remaining. Now coming to here on the second case. Okay, forget about the first scenario. So P1, sorry, P2, P3. So here the common face is 1. Here the common face is 1. So from the 1, that circle goes to 5 first. Then it comes to 2. Then it ends at 1. From the P3, it goes to question mark first. Then it comes to 6. Okay, it's end. 5 and question mark are opposite. 2 and 6 are opposite. Okay, so the question mark, 3 and 5 are opposite. 5 and question mark are opposite. Okay, see, guys, you can see here 1 to 5, 5 to 2, 1 to question mark to 6. So 5 and question mark are opposite, 5 and 3. So the right answer is 3. That is option D. Nobody commented it. See, from here onwards, it is difficult to imagine. That's it. Option D, 3 is the right answer. No issues. Don't worry, Saurabh. This is how we are learning for the first time. Okay. Next time onwards, we will make it right. Okay. So this is double clockwise. So I will give you one more opportunity. Here is your question. Go ahead. Quick. I want all of you to solve this question. Okay. So solve this. 3 positions of the same dice are given below. Observe the figure carefully and find which number will come in place of question mark. Okay, quick. You guys can put the responses in the chat. I'm eagerly waiting for your responses. So here, the technique is using double clockwise. 3 positions of the same dice are given below. Observe the figures carefully and find number which will come in place of question mark. Sorry. So this is position 1. This is position 2. This is position 3. Okay, all the 3 positions. Top, front, right. Now onwards is not required to write all these things, but top, front, right. Since I'm having time, I'm writing it. Okay. Quick. Use the clockwise rule twice. You will be getting the answer. Ask out of others. Use it carefully. Use that technique very carefully. So over here, I just spotted the common face. 3. From the position 1 and the position 2, I'm going to use the clockwise rule because one is at the right and one is at the top. Okay, now we can use the clockwise rule. Goes to 6 first. Then goes to 1. Then ended at 3. 6, 1, 3. Next is 4. Goes to 5. So that means 6 and 4 are opposite. 1 and 5 are opposite. And on finally, 3 and 2 will be opposite. Okay. 3 and 2. So that is how we are using clockwise rule. Be careful while using clockwise rule. Okay. Next step. I'm going to use these 2 things. Here the common face, things are going to change. Here the common face is 4. So clockwise circle first goes to P2 and P3. First goes to 5, then goes to 3. Next goes to question mark. 5 question mark. Then goes to 2. Okay, opposite of 5 is question mark. 5 and question mark opposite. Question mark and 1. So right answer is 1. Option A. Shanifa and Abshir were given it right. Okay. Both were given it right. Very good. So practice this particular one. That will be better. I think so. So now you can try some other things. So folding, unfolding type question. Solve this one. So select from the alternative the box that can be formed by folding the sheets shown in the figure. Folding the sheets shown in the figure. So after folding this, you will be getting a cube. Okay, that you can call like a dice. So which among the following options are right in this particular case? Okay. So before discussing this, we should discuss something else. Okay, just a second. That's it, this one. So this particular form. So after folding it into a dice, one will be opposed to whom? Just put it in the chat. After folding this into a dice, 1 will be opposed to whom? We don't know. 6 will be opposed to whom? Sure, good. Okay, so we need to have a technique also. See, there is not possible to imagine all these things. So we should substitute with the technique. So, good. Great. Abshir, Saurav, Shanifa, Niha, all great. So this is a 5. Okay, I took just a number. Okay, especially in the middle of the particular figure, that will be better. I took a number. So its top and bottom are opposite. It's apparent left, this one. It's apparent right, this one. 2 and 4 will be opposite. Finally, the remaining 1 and 5 will be opposite. Okay, this is how we can improve our speed in finding opposites. So in this figure, my question is, who is the opposite of 3? Okay, who is the opposite of 3? Put it in the chat. I'm looking forward for your answers. You guys. Okay, see, we are training our brain to quickly provide answers. Actually, we are not attending a class. We are attending a mock test. Okay, in between, I'm giving explanations. But even though we are training our brains, and this is like a brain gym. Okay, so give or consider these things like a opportunity to improve your brain muscles. Okay, so over here, I just asked opposite of 3. So I took 4 as a reference. So 3 and 5 will be opposite. Okay, for other sides also, apparent left 1, apparent right 6. So this is the technique. Okay, finally 2 and 4 obviously there. So this is the technique. So earlier it's Shanifa, Saurav and Niha given it right. Good. Okay. So now we will be looking into that question. See, there is no need to solve everything because we got the technique. So we don't need to wait. So now your opportunity here. See, from this figure, I'm taking B as the reference, so I can easily find that E and C are opposite. Similarly, A and D are opposite, and F and B are opposite. Okay. Actually, you guys know to solve this question. I also know that, but I'm giving you a different perspective. Okay. From our first rule, opposite sides cannot be adjacent. So we can easily avoid the imagination method or technique over here. So EC, AD, FB. So FB comes here. Actually, F and B are shown as adjacent in this figure. In real case, they are opposite. Is EFD. Okay, fine. Okay, here it is EC. EC is shown adjacent, but they are opposite. And similarly, AD is shown as adjacent. Actually, they are opposite. So B only is the right answer. And over here, it's like Saurav, Shanifa, Niha, they are given it right. I think earlier. Okay, fine. Anyway, good. Okay, all the 3, very good. So now we will be trying a similar question. But now this time, there's no letters. We have some sort of shapes. Select from the alternative box that can be formed by folding the sheet shown in figure X. Okay. Now over here, you need to fold this. And which are the possibilities? Okay. What are the possibilities you can make? Q. So every time we can't expect numbers. We can't expect letters. Sometimes these types of shapes also comes. Okay. So how to solve this? There's also, good. Yeah, I see your answer. Okay. Fine. Okay, I am just responding to the answers in the chat. Okay, so, okay, Abshir, what is your opinion? Okay, Shaniva, fine. Okay, over here, like, Abshir, fine. A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, so from this, you can easily spot AC, BD, and EF as opposite sides. So now comes to the figure. See, this is B and this is B, D. See, actually they are shown as adjacent. So D is wrong. D wrong means these two options are wrong. Now comes to here, this is also B, this is D. Okay, so option B is also wrong. So now the doubt is between A only, A and C, or none of this. So comes to option C. Assume this is A. Okay, so we took A. Who will be C here? Only 3 blank boxes. And in this figure, all the 3 blanks are also shown. So can you accommodate C here? Then A and C becomes adjacent. So we can't use C here. So I will took C here. No, here also the same. A and C adjacent. So we can't see in this particular question, A and C are opposite. If you can see A, then you can't see the C. Okay. So at a time, it is not possible to see all the 3 together because one pair is opposite. So option C is wrong. So now these 2 options also you can eliminate option A only because this is B, this is E, and this can be C. Okay, whether it is C, A, or F, it is not a matter. Okay, I hope it is clear. So now we will be trying some other questions from this chapter. It's your turn, guys. So for the earlier question, you guys can solve it down. Earlier it is like Saurabh, Niha, Shanifa, and Abshir given it right. Good, great. Which symbol will be on the face opposite to the face with the symbol star? Who is opposite of star? Who is that? Opposite of star. Which technique will you use? That is the first question. Which technique? See, use more easiest one first. Okay. So we have plenty of methods and 2 or 3 methods will be applicable in this question. Okay. So try to solve it using the easiest one. So according to me, the easiest one is adjacent sides cannot be opposite. Adjacent sides cannot be opposite. So at is an adjacent side. So it cannot be opposite. So option elimination. Okay. So option elimination. So now comes to the next one. Minus is adjacent. Fortunately, it is not in the options. Okay, fine. At already removed. Plus 50-50 chance between B and C. Now the 50-50 chance between the B and C. So dollar. So next comes option C, that is 8 is the right answer. So now comes to the next question. And earlier it's like Saurav, Shanifa, and Suvini given it right. Good. Okay. What happened here? Abshir. So now you guys can solve this. Opposite of 5 dots. Which technique will you use? Guys, which technique? Which technique will you use? Which rule? What is the condition? Whenever you see like this, go for finding the condition. Common face. How many pairs? Opposite of 5 is asked. Saurav, clockwise. See, we can have a look. How many common faces? 2, 2. That is top friend. Okay, that is first pair. Second pair. 1, 1. 1, 1. See, actually we have 2 pairs. There is a requirement to use the clockwise. See, common face pairs. I cancel this. I cancel this. See, only 1 pair is remaining, 5 and 4. Question is about the opposite of 5. Go for the D. That is 4. Okay, Saurav, good. Okay. But it is not clockwise. You can easily go with this. Correct, Suvini. And Niha, good. They are correct. Very good. So 5 and 4 are opposite. Now, opposite of 4. Opposite of 4, guys. See, I want all of you to improve your speed. I want all of you to improve your speed. Okay. See, we are not doing this for getting a right answer. We are doing this to get it in a very quicker manner. Okay. See, if you have an eraser in your hand, and if you can mark all these things, you will be getting the answer. But depends upon the person standing inside the examination hall. We can do all those things. If he find that we are marking something on the eraser or something, it is his what like decision to allow you to do like that or not. Okay, entirely depend on him. So we should have these kinds of techniques inside an exam hall. Okay, and we need to do it in a very quicker manner also. That is why we are practicing. Here, what is the question? Opposite of 4. Can you find that 4 inside this figure? No, only one pair of common face, and we are not able to find the 4. Obviously, 4 is the opposite of the common face. 3, Saurav, Animatsia, Niha, Suvini. Okay, these were the only people who had given it right. What about others? What you guys are looking over here? See, you are making your brain believe that you are answering it in a quicker way. Okay. See, this is not to show that you are answering it or first or last. This is to make your brain aware that you are doing it. Okay. So this is like a brain gym. Opposite of 5, I want. Go for the opposite of 5. Okay. After this session, you don't need to worry about anything about the dice. Everything we are covering in it. Saurav. Shaniva. Okay, fine, Shaniva. Okay. So 2 different accounts. Okay, fine. Okay, Shaniva. I will continue with Shaniva. Okay, fine. Okay. So next. So over here, question number opposite of 5. See, common face, one pair of common face. That is like 3,3. One pair of common face. So over here, we have a rule. Front and front opposite. We have a rule. Right and right opposite. Because only one pair. You can refer to the previous. Okay. So over here, the right answer is 6. Who were given it right? So like over here, Shanifa, Niha, Suvini, and Saurav given it right. Okay. LBR, all the best. Opposite of 2. Okay. Opposite of 2. That is the question. Go ahead. Opposite of 2. Okay, plenty of dices are in front of you. Plenty of dices. Saurav. Suvini. LBR, good. Okay, Niha, fine, good. So let's see. Opposite of 2. See, usually when I get a question like this, I know that, see, since my previous practice, I know that I can't completely find the answer using that adjacent side technique, even though I will try for that because I will use the techniques in a trial and error manner. So opposite of 2 is asked. 2, only 2 times. So 3 gone. There is not 3, but 5. Next step. 1 gone. Okay. And 3. There is 3, not 3. So doubt is between 4 and 6. Okay. Doubt is between 4 and 6. So I just given my first round. When I find more than 2 dices, I will use that method. Okay. I will use that method first. Then I will look for the second one. Since I find that I failed in that method. Since here 2 are still remaining. So I just identified that I failed. Okay. So I will go for the second method. Second method, I will choose any of the two dices. Say, first of all, I will choose this one. So one is on the front on both the dices. So I can understand 2 and 6 and 3 and 4 will be opposite. Okay. Okay. Over here, 2 and 6 will be opposite. Okay. 2 and 6 will be opposite. So right answer is 6. So over here, it's like Saurav, Swini, Niha, Elbia, we are given it right. Okay. So now we will be looking into the next question over here. So now you guys can solve this. LBR, which question? That's 6. So now you guys can solve this question in between that time. LBR, let me know which one. 6 dot question. Okay, okay. So for you, LBR, it's all the best for your tomorrow NATA. Okay. Suvini, you got 90. Very good, very good. Okay. Okay. See, Suvini, for you, we have a playlist. Okay. We have a playlist over here. For both LBI and others also, we have a playlist in THiNC Institute of Design channel, and that having a marathon as well as a sprint, which we conducted in the previous year, and that was a completed session. Okay. Arithmetic sprint as well as logical sprint, that means non-verbal sprint, we had finished last year. Okay. We had finished last year, I think sprint 2024. You can find in the playlist session. There you can watch those videos because they were already completed. Saurav, very good. Okay. Now we are in the midway. Okay, we are almost going to complete topics, but it's an already completed sessions. So you guys can watch them also. See, if you are having an exam in the next week, we can't expect we will be completing all these things in that. So okay, so this will take along with the exams, this practice is going. So in a very systematic manner, the already completed one is there for your quick revisions. Okay, for your quick revisions. And if I am taking sessions, you can ask the doubts of those areas also here. Okay, no issue for me to clear all those things. Actually, I'm considering this like a an interaction session. Okay, like my classroom itself, I felt like. So if you have a doubt in a certain area, I will be clearing it. Okay, even if I am taking dice here and you are having a doubt on another topic like mirror image, okay, no issue. NATA sprint. NATA sprint. Go for check playlist over there. NATA sprint. Saurav will be giving it. Okay, NATA sprint is that name. See, in this question, 2 positions of a dice are shown below. How many dots are there on the face? Opposite the face has 1 dot. Okay, so 2 and 2 common. So 1 pair of common face is there. Then right side opposite to right side, 1 opposite to 6. Front opposite to front, that is 5 opposite to 3. Okay, clear. So on the previous question, as per his request, I think this is the question. LBR, can you tell me, is this a figure? Let me know your doubt. See, in this question, I took these 2 figures as a reference. Okay, so we have a technique. I will take you to that technique once again. For that question, we are using a technique. See, we have discussed plenty of techniques here. You can refer them if you missed those portions. So over here, if there is one one pair of common face at same position like top. So over here it's sorry, over here is a friend. Friend is a common face. Then right side will be opposite. Top sides will be opposite. Okay, that's it, the technique. See, we are trying to overcome issues of imagination through methods or techniques. So in this area, one, they are at the front. Only one pair. Okay, one pair of common face. So we know that top and top will be opposite. Top, opposite. Right, opposite. 3, 4. Question was only for the 2. So 2 and 6 opposite. That is okay. You can refer the recordings once it available. I think after a few minutes of the sessions are over, it will be available. Okay. So now, so we will be moving to another area, I think better. Okay. Another area which is having some sort of techniques I'm looking for, or some sort of logics. Okay. So we can look for some missing character questions as a part of arithmetics. Okay. As a part of some, we should do some quantitative problems also today. We will be looking into the missing characters. So this missing characters technique will be helping you to solve problems like number series questions also. The logic which you are learning over here will be helping you to solve number series question. LB are good. So now you guys can tell me which number is going to come here. Q. Okay, I can give you a hint. I can give you a hint. I can give you a hint. My hint is here. Why I had drawn like that. 9 and 19. What is the sum? 28. 6 and 5. What is the sum? 11. 28 minus 11. Saurav got the idea why I should done that. So 28 minus 11, that is 17. Now comes here. 7 plus 17, 24. 2 plus 8, 10. 24 and 10, 14. 9 plus 16, 25. 4 plus 6, 10. So the difference, 15. Option C. Over here, it's like Saurav, Suvini, Shanifa, we are given it right. And Niha also. Very good. Very good. Okay. So actually, we are collecting some logics. Now your turn, guys. We are collecting some logics. I'm not asking this question to get exact right answers. My intention is only to give you some logics. Okay. I'll be fine. Good for the previous question. Okay. Others. Good. Saurav. Okay. So see, actually, we are giving some sort of work to brain. Okay. Some sort of work to brain. So brain will be actively thinking that how to solve this. The brain will think about n number of logics. Brain will be thinking about n number of logics at this moment. Okay. So over here, before solving, we can look into the number. Saurav, we will do it. Okay, good. So over here, see, he had given you a hint, Saurav. So over here, we are in between our crash batch. Online as well as offline is available. Okay. So you can use this number. Okay. I'm also taking online sessions as well as offline in 2 centers over here. Okay. So you can use that number to get all the details regarding NATA, not only regarding our batches, even exam related things, exam center related doubts, all these queries, you can use that number. Okay. So because your doubts, sometimes similar to others also, we have a plenty of students over here. So when they ask a doubt, we already find that solution for them. So you can also feel free to ask those solutions. Okay. That means your doubt is not the first doubt. That's it. So 6 into 6, 36. 7 into 5, 35. What is the difference? 1, that is at the center. Now comes 6 into 3, 18. Now comes 4 into 3, 12. What is the difference? 6. It is at the center. Okay. See, Sabra, I didn't get you. That means our next YouTube session. Next YouTube session or next batch. So over here, 7 into 3, 21. 9 into 2, 18. Difference is 3 and you guys were given it, right? Okay, 3. YouTube. So next YouTube session of mine will be updated in this channel itself. Okay. Actually, exact dates were not provided to me also. So I think we'll be in the upcoming, by the next week also, I'll be definitely having a session over here. Okay. So for the area, it is like 3. Suvini, Saurav, Niha, we are given it, right? Okay. So now I will be, I think the previous 2 questions were a little bit easy. Okay. See, this question is to discuss different logic. See, that logic you can use in figure series also. So here it is like missing character. Okay, here it is like missing character. So 1, 5, and all the numbers are given. Okay, 1, 29, 61, 13, 125. Okay, there is little bit to think. I don't know who's that. Username comes. Okay. Others. See, last day I was taking this particular question in my offline session. Okay, in a particular center. At that time, one of my students told me like that, sir, 1 is here, so 61. 5 is here, so 125. 3 is here, only option with the 3 is 253. Okay. I can't tell her the logic was wrong. And fortunately or unfortunately, the answer was 253 also. Okay. But the logic was not right. So sometimes if the option is having 233 or 153, definitely she is going to be get confused. Okay. It's obviously happening. But a well-established thing. See, for you, the question will be like this. 1, 5, 13. So 29. Who is going to come next? Maybe the question in the figure series will be a format like this. Okay, at that time you can make 61. So over here, difference is 4. Difference is 8. Difference is like 16. Difference is 32. Difference. What is the difference here? 64. 128. See, this is an Z. This is an Z. Into 4 plus 5. Okay. See, actually it is added. Okay. 4, double 8, double to 16, double to 32, double to 64, double to 128. So 125 plus 128, that is 253. That make this option right. Okay. So since there is no negative marks, you guys could freely go for a guess like this. And since fortune may be favoring you at that moment, then it will be right. Okay. So over here, username Saurav and LBR were given right. So another old NATA question. Okay. Old NATA question. Now you guys to solve. Go ahead. Cube. Go ahead, guys. So after me, Shubham sir will be joining you with the drawing session. Okay. For the next few minutes, he will be taking you to the drawing. So after solving this question, so over here, 3, 1. Okay. So this is an older NATA question. I just added here. So 3, 1. Okay. So, Saurav, that is a common error. Okay, Saurav, that is a common error. Okay. See, whether if your answer is going wrong, then it's also no issue. Okay. I'm here to understand how you guys are answering. And I'm here to rectify your errors and issues. Okay. 3 plus 1, 4. 5 plus 1 plus 4, 5. Okay. So here, direct addition. Nothing, direct addition. But next step onwards, be clear in these steps. Okay. Next step onwards, everything is changing. 4 plus 5 plus 1, 10. 5 plus 6 plus 1. Okay. 12. Another one is added here. Okay. See, accidental mistakes we should avoid. Here, instead of 1, 2 is added. 10 plus 12, 22. But it is given like 24. Okay. So over here, see, they were given these options. At that time, if they have an option like 52, there is a great possibility is going for it wrong. So 2. Next, 24 plus 28 plus 3 is required. 52 plus 3. 52 plus 3. 55. Okay. So okay. Yeah, Shanifa, that's it. So now over here for this question, username, Niha, Saurav, and Suvini and Shanifa were given it right. Okay. She had given that exact method. Okay. So 52 plus 3. Very good, all. Very good. So I think I'll be handing over to Shubham sir. From here onwards, he will be taking you to the drawing. Thank you all. We can meet again in the next session. So, sir, you can take from here onwards.
Hello, hi everyone. So now I will be taking you towards object drawing. Okay. Okay. I hope you all can hear me. So I'm going to share my screen first. So this is very important. You can have any kind of query or any kind of thing. You can just ask here on this number that will help you. This is the first thing. And my name is Shubham Saurabh. And today I will be demonstrating you something related to object drawing. So when I say object drawing, means sometimes in NATA, you might get a question which is related to like you have to make few objects. Okay, maybe they are from one zone or maybe they are from different world. Ultimately, you draw few objects in a particular proportion and then you compose it in a particular frame. The three things are important is first is the how accurate the object is. Second, the proportion of object when it is placed uh, in context to each other. And third, how you are composing those objects in a particular frame. Three things are very important. So I'll just share my screen and I'll be demonstrating you how to make any kind of object plus the proportion and the last is the composition. Take the frame first. There's a high chance that you'll get a portrait frame to draw something. because I'm doing it digitally, so the format, it will look little different. It will not look like a pencil drawing because I'm using some kind of software. But let's understand the, let's draw this first, avocado. Okay, so we have made our one object or product, whatever you can say. So important part is the colors. Okay, let's not make everything in one shade, otherwise it will look little bad. So you see there are difference of shade of green only. This little dark, this little light, and this is very light. And that's how the it looks different from each other. It looks good. And then the last thing is the texture. let's take the color from the same shade. So something is, and as per the product, let's make it texture a little bit so that the drawing should not look too artificial, and it should give a little real essence. Because these are natural objects, so it won't be very clean. There will be little textures, especially on the edges. Same here, but we'll change the shade a little bit so that the texture that you are adding should not look like too vibrant. It should blend with the background. Similarly, we can do with the top part as well. Similarly for the seed as well. So after doing this, your drawing will look more real. For example, if this is our thing, but let's provide a background to it. Background also in a similar shade. Okay, so our one object is done. Let's keep it here. Let's see some another object that we can add same composition. Uh, maybe. Let's go for this lab. We can also keep the color composition in mind. So let's see. So now if you see, everything is made in one tone. The tones are now changing. There's some shades of orange and yellow, more or less every time. We have a lamp that is also ready here. Now let's compose it. I think when you compose something which is closer to each other, that creates a proximity that looks better in terms of keeping it very scattered anywhere. So, but yeah, two things: how you're composing it, what is the color combination. That you see all the shades of orange here, and this is quite green, and then there's a background color. Uh, if I mean, sometimes if you want to add some kind of title, which is like, Now you see a particular title also. I mean, which is not mandatory at all, just to complete the essence. So that is one thing that you can do. Second is sometimes we do a 3D composition, but we don't follow the proportion, and instead we just want everything need to be more abstract, one particular form. So in that case, maybe you have made one object, something like this. And with that one object, you have to compose the entire frame. So there, the strategy will be abstract. You might use something very big, then you can change the orientation. You can flip it like this. You can change the size. You can also make it something like a pattern, like a repetition. So either you can change the size, you can change the proportion, you can change the orientation. This one, like this. There is no rule as such. Ultimately, it should look good. And that you don't have to fill the entire space. That is not mandatory. If it is looking good like this, so maybe that is also fine. Maybe one here on top. And then you add any kind of title. Something like this. Okay. Either you make it in a real proportion with 2, 3 objects coming together, or the second option is you make it an abstract composition where you took one object and then you compose it in a little abstract manner, which is appealing to the eye. So these are the two ways that things can be done. The last thing that you have to keep in mind is the color composition. The color should be visible. It should help us to distinguish one element from another. The background color and the object should help each other to pop out. So that should be little contrasting in nature. And that's how things need to be done in object drawing. You will add a little bit of texture. You see a change of shade. That this is a little darker, this is light, that is happening because of the lighting. So keep all those things in mind so that your drawing might look more real and more from the real world with a sense of light, shadow, texture, color composition. All that. If you follow all these things, the drawing will look good, and that's how can crack these kind of questions. So here I'll end my session. Thank you very much, guys, for listening to me. I hope this made sense to you and you have learned something. Thank you. Good night. Bye bye, everyone. Good night.